Welcome to Power in Words, a sanctuary where we explore the architecture of the human soul and the limitless potential that resides within your own beating heart. Today, we are embarking on a journey through one of the most difficult yet liberating landscapes of the human experience, the choice to remain dignified when the world tries to drag you into the mud. We are gathered here to unpack a sentiment that has echoed across auditoriums and living rooms, a mantra that sounds simple on the surface, but requires the strength of a mountain to execute in practice. It is the philosophy famously articulated by Michelle Obama, a directive for the spirit in times of turbulence. When they go low, we go high. To understand this, we must first acknowledge the reality of the ground floor. We must talk about what happens when they go low. You know this feeling. We all do. It is the visceral, sharp sting of betrayal when a friend shares a secret you entrusted to them. It is the cold, bureaucratic indifference of a boss who dismisses your hard work with a wave of a hand. It is the anonymous cruelty of a comment on a screen, or the heated, irrational shouting of a stranger in traffic. When someone goes low, they are operating from the basement of the human condition. They are digging into the reserves of their own insecurity, their unresolved trauma, and their fear, and they are flinging that debris in your direction. The psychological impact of this is immediate. Your heart rate spikes. The ancient reptilian part of your brain, the amygdala, screams that you are under attack. The blood rushes to your extremities, preparing you for a fight. Every fiber of your biological makeup urges you to descend, to meet them in that pit, to pick up a weapon of words and strike back harder, faster, and more cruelly than they struck you. It is a seduction, this urge to go low. It feels like justice. It feels like righteousness. The ego whispers to you that if you remain silent, you are weak. It tells you that if you do not retaliate, you are letting them win. But let us look at this through the lens of emotional intelligence and true psychological power. When you engage with someone who has descended into the mud of disrespect, and you choose to jump into that mud with them to wrestle, you both get dirty. The difference is that they like it there. They are comfortable in the grime of conflict because it distracts them from their own internal emptiness. If you lower yourself to their frequency, you do not defeat them. You validate them. You tell them that their behavior has the power to dictate your state of mind. You hand them the remote control to your emotions and say, "Here, you decide how I feel today." Going high is not about passivity. It is not about being a doormat or smiling politely while someone dismantles your dignity. Do not mistake composure for weakness. Going high is an act of radical, aggressive self-preservation. It is a declaration of independence. It is the steely realization that your integrity is too expensive to be spent on cheap battles. When Michelle Obama spoke those words, she was not suggesting we ignore reality. She was suggesting we transcend the immediate reactionary impulse that keeps us chained to the toxicity of others. To go high is to look at the person attacking you and realize that their behavior is not a reflection of your worth, but a diagnosis of their pain. This is the hardest work you will ever do. It requires you to pause in that split second between the stimulus and your response, a space that the psychiatrist Viktor Frankl described as the place where our freedom lies. In that space, you choose a different path. You choose the ascent. Imagine a mountain. The air at the bottom is thick with fog, smog, and the noise of the crowd. It is heavy, crowded with people jostling for position, screaming to be heard, pulling each other down to get a slightly better view. This is where the low happens. It is chaotic and suffocating. Going high means turning your back on that chaos and starting the climb. The path up the mountain is lonely. It is steep. It requires effort to breathe. As you climb, you leave the noise behind. You leave the petty grievances, the rumors, the insults, and the misunderstandings in the valley below. As you ascend, the air becomes thinner but clearer. You gain perspective. From the summit, the person who is screaming at you looks very small. Their insults do not reach this altitude. Their anger cannot survive in this rarefied air. You are untouchable, not because you are arrogant, but because you have removed yourself from the blast radius of their misery. But let us be honest with each other as friends. The climb hurts. It burns. When someone questions your character, when they spread lies about who you are, the urge to correct the record is overwhelming. You want to scream the truth. You want to print out the evidence and plaster it on the walls. You want to grab them by the shoulders and make them see you. But you must remember that people who are committed to misunderstanding you will never hear you. No matter how loud you scream, your silence is not a surrender, it is a shield. By refusing to engage in the back and forth, you preserve your energy for the things that actually matter: your growth, your family, your purpose, your peace. As the great Maya Angelou reminded us, you may be trod into the very dirt, but still, like dust, you rise. That rising is the high. It is the buoyancy of a spirit that refuses to be anchored by the heaviness of others' hate. Think of the energy required to hate. Think of the caloric burn of holding a grudge. It is exhausting. It keeps you up at night, replaying arguments in your head, inventing snappy comebacks for conversations that are already over. It robs you of the present moment. When you choose to go low, you are renting out space in your head to your enemies, rent-free. You are carrying them with you to dinner, to your job, to your bed. You are letting the person who hurt you haunt your future. Going high is an act of eviction. It is saying, you do not belong here. My mind is a sanctuary, not a battlefield. It is a psychological cleansing. By releasing the need for revenge, you reclaim your life. This is the ultimate power move. The best revenge is not destroying them. It is healing yourself. It is living a life so full of joy, purpose, and vibrancy that their negativity becomes irrelevant background noise. We must also consider the legacy of our reactions. We are always teaching others how to treat us, and we are always modeling behavior for those who watch us, our children, our colleagues, our friends. If we meet hate with hate, we perpetuate a cycle of trauma that has existed for generations. We add more fire to a burning world. But if we meet hate with dignity, we break the chain. We introduce a new variable into the equation. We show the world that it is possible to be strong without being cruel. We demonstrate that softness is not fragility, but a different kind of armor. Water is soft, yet over time it cuts through rock. Your consistent, unwavering dignity is that water. It wears down the jagged edges of the world's harshness. This does not mean you do not feel anger. You are human. You will feel the heat. You will feel the injustice. Validate those feelings. Sit with them. Admit to yourself, I am hurt. I am angry. This is unfair. But then ask yourself a critical question. Who do I want to be right now? Do you want to be a mirror, reflecting back the ugliness that is shown to you? Or do you want to be a light, shining despite the darkness? The Stoic philosophers taught us that we cannot control what happens to us, but we have absolute sovereignty over how we respond. When you react with rage, you are a puppet. The other person pulls the string and you dance. When you respond with measured calm, you cut the strings. You stand on your own feet. There is a profound freedom in realizing that you do not have to attend every argument you are invited to. You can decline the invitation. You can look at the drama and say, no, thank you, I have better things to do. This confuses the aggressor. They want to fight. They want the friction. They feed on the conflict because it validates their victimhood. When you give them nothing, no anger, no defense, just a neutral, unbothered existence, they are left alone with their own toxicity. It bounces back onto them. You become a Teflon surface. Nothing sticks. This requires a strong sense of self-worth. You must know who you are so deeply that a stranger's opinion or even a friend's betrayal cannot shake your foundation. You must build your house on the rock of self-knowledge, not on the shifting sands of external approval. Let us speak to the doubt that creeps in. You might be thinking, but if I don't fight back, people will walk all over me. There is a difference between being a doormat and being a fortress. You can set boundaries without shouting. You can cut toxic people out of your life without a dramatic exit speech. You can protect your peace with a silent, firm resolve. Going high often involves walking away. It involves the word no. It involves closing the door and locking it, not out of fear, but out of reverence for the sanctity of your home. It is a boundary set in concrete, not a fence made of barbed wire. The high road is paved with boundaries. It is where you decide what you will and will not accept, and you enforce it not with volume, but with action. Imagine the version of yourself that you aspire to be. Think of that person 5, 10 years from now. Does that future version of you regret not screaming back? Does that future version wish they had sent that angry text message? No. The future, realized version of you looks back with gratitude that you kept your composure. They are proud that you did not burn the bridge, even when you had the matches in your hand. They are proud that you preserved your character. Character is what is left when the lights go out and the audience goes home. It is what you have when you look in the mirror. Do not trade your character for a moment of emotional release. The relief of telling someone off lasts for minutes. The regret of losing your composure can last for years. The pride of keeping your dignity lasts a lifetime. Every time you choose to go high, you are building a muscle. The first time is excruciating. The second time is difficult. The 10th time, it becomes your nature. You are rewiring your brain. You are training yourself to seek solutions rather than conflicts, to seek peace rather than vindication. You become a person of rare atmosphere. People can feel it when they walk into a room with you. They feel a sense of calm, a sense of stability. You become a lighthouse in a storm. Others who are struggling with their own battles will look to you and see that it's possible to remain standing when the waves crash. You become a testament to the power of the human spirit to transcend its environment. This journey is also about forgiveness, not necessarily for them, but for you. Forgiveness is not saying what they did was okay. It is saying that you are no longer willing to carry the burden of it. When you go low, you are holding onto the hot coal of resentment, waiting to throw it at them, but you are the one getting burned. Going high is dropping the coal. It is letting your hands heal. It is walking forward without the heavy baggage of the past strapped to your back. It is an act of extreme self-love. You are telling yourself that you deserve peace more than you desire retribution. So the next time the world tests you, and it will test you, remember this conversation. When the email comes that makes your blood run cold, when the insult is hurled, when the unfairness of life strikes you across the face, take a deep breath. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Remember that you are a creation of immense value. Remember that your spirit is vast, capable of holding storms without breaking. Look up. Look at the sky. That is where you belong. Do not let gravity pull you down into the swamp of hatred. Spread your wings. It takes strength to fly against the wind, but that is how you gain altitude. Let the others have the floor. Let them have the petty arguments, the mudslinging, the noise. You have a different destination. You are headed for the peaks. You are crafting a life of meaning you've made, of depth, of resonance. You are the author of your story, and you will not let the villains hold the pen. You will write a narrative of triumph, not of victimhood. You will write a story where the protagonist faced the darkness and chose to be the light. This is the power you hold. It is available to you in every single moment, in every single interaction. It is a choice that you make again and again, 1,000 times a day. As we stand here together, visualizing this ascent, know that you are not climbing alone. We are all on this mountain. We are all struggling with the gravity of our lower instincts, but we are also all capable of the divine spark of restraint and wisdom. Let us make a pact, you and me, right now. Let us decide that we will be the generation that stops the cycle. We will be the ones who bring sanity back to the room. We will be the ones who de-escalate, who listen, who pause, who breathe. We will be the ones who go high. Think of the beauty of a life lived at that altitude. The view is magnificent. You can see the interconnectedness of all things. You can see that the person attacking you is just a frightened child in an adult's body. You can see that their anger is a cry for help, even if it is a destructive one. You develop a compassion that is almost superhuman. This is the ultimate victory. When you can look at your enemy with compassion rather than hate, you have won the war. You have transcended the battlefield entirely. You are operating on a plane of existence where they cannot touch you. This is the invitation of power in words. It is an invitation to step into your power. Not the power of force, but the power of presence. The power of a made-up mind. The power of a heart that refuses to close, even when it is wounded. It is the power of the phoenix rising from the ashes, more brilliant and beautiful than before the fire. You have this power. It is in your DNA. It is in the breath in your lungs. Do not waste it on the low road. The low road is crowded, it is dirty, and it leads nowhere. The high road is hard, but it leads to the stars. The world is desperate for people who can keep their heads when everyone around them is losing theirs. Be that person. Be the calm in the chaos. Be the dignity in the disgrace. Be the example. When they lie, you tell the truth. When they bully, you defend. When they hate, you love. When they go low, you go high. Not because it is easy, but because it is who you are. It is the only way to live a life that leaves a legacy of light. It is the only way to honor the magnificent potential that was placed inside you at the moment of your birth. You were made for the heights. Do not settle for the depths. As you move forward from this moment, carry this armor with you. Wear it into your workplace, your home, your community. Let it be the silence that speaks volumes. Let it be the pause that changes the outcome. Let it be the smile that disarms the anger. You are powerful beyond measure, and your greatest power lies in your ability to choose your reaction. Master that choice, and you master your life. Your dignity is a destination that no one else can map, a home that no one else can burn down, and a sanctuary that you carry within you forever. If this message resonated with your spirit and you wish to continue climbing this mountain of personal growth with us, please like this video and subscribe to the Power in Words channel. Let us keep walking this path toward the light together.